Hey there, friends and enemies, Jopa here again, and it's all but confirmed that the unannounced Universe Beyond set coming to Magic the Gathering in March for Nickelodeon is going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can see this truck with a Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover wrap that was spotted in New York City for New York City Comic Con, which is where the announcement is set to take place. So yes, this is a little bit of a leak. However, this is spread wide enough that I think everybody knows this was going to be the probable set anyway. And I want to talk about which sets I'm most to least excited about in 2026, because I know my list is going to differ from a lot of other Magic players, and I want to give some explanation. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a problem with Universes Beyond set. I know a lot of more traditional Magic players don't like them, and I fully understand and appreciate that. I think these sets are here to stay. I wish there would be more of a balance between in-universe and Universe Beyond, so that way it's more 50-50 or even 60-40 in-universe sets, preferably. But now that we know all 7 sets, I just kind of want to break them down. So my least exciting set for me personally is actually going to be Star Trek. I'm not a big Star Trek fan. I've watched the movies. I do enjoy it as a franchise for what it is, but I'm not like a Trekkie or anything like that. I've never really super been into Star Trek, and sci-fi is something I am a fan of. I did really enjoy the Edge of Eternity set, so this one could surprise me. I just feel like it's not going to be as relatable to me personally as a lot of other sets, and so that's why I have it a lot lower on the list. Next up is actually going to be a surprise, I would imagine, to most people, and that is The Hobbit. Now, this is another Universe Beyond set that, based on the success of Lord of the Rings, should be a slam dunk, but because it is a sequel set and because they've already gone so deep into the Lord of the Rings base with that original set, I have some concerns about The Hobbit, whether it's just feeling rehashed compared to what we've seen in the past, or whether it is just underwhelming because it is a sequel set. I have some pretty big concerns about this one. I do love Lord of the Rings. I'm a fan of The Hobbit in general. I do think there's a lot of good characters they can toss into here. I worry that it's not going to be as memorable, as exciting as the Lord of the Rings sets. And so it's going to be not necessarily a bad set, but it will be underwhelming. And that's one thing that I'm very much concerned about. And I know I'm not alone in that, but I do think this is going to be a lot higher on most other people's lists. Then we have Secrets of Strixhaven. I never played the original Strixhaven set, and so because of that, I don't have a real connection to this one. And it looks fine. Like, from what I've seen so far, everything looks solid with that set. Like, the whole location looks pretty interesting, but not as interesting as some others to me. And so that's where I'm a little bit more down on the set than I think a lot of other people will be. Again, I will probably play, whether it's pre-release or other events, for every single one of these sets. So just because I'm not as excited doesn't mean I'm not going to be playing at all. I'm definitely going to check out every one of these sets in their own right. But I do think there's levels to this, and so that's where I have Secrets of Strixhaven. I'm just not as locked in on that one as I am others. And then we get to some interesting ones. I think next up I'm going to go with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I think they could do a lot of interesting things with this set. I just don't know if it's deep enough to have. I think it might have a bit of the Spider-Man problem in that it doesn't have enough range to make a full set that's interesting. And so while I do like the Ninja Turtles, I do think there's going to be a lot of cool cards. I can't wait to see what they do with Michelangelo. A Splinter could be a really cool card. I do feel like this is the type of set that they kind of have been following suit with the Assassin's Creed set, where there just might not be enough original content from those franchises to make a full Final Fantasy level set. And I think that's where the struggle lies for me with some of these crossovers. I guess the same would apply to The Hobbit, is that I just don't feel like there's the depth needed to make enough interesting cards to make it a set worth chasing versus a set that you might be more excited to hunt for singles for, just some standout cards. And that's something that I think is very common these days, not just with Universes Beyond, but I feel the same about like Aether Drift, for example. There are some good cards from that set that I like to go after, but not enough to really make me want to open up a bunch of packs from that set. So that's why I'm a little bit lower on that one. That's how I feel about Ninja Turtles and The Hobbit in general for those sets, whereas Star Trek is just not a IP I'm super into. So next up is actually going to be Lorwyn Eclipsed. And this set, I think, like my top three, I'm really excited about. So this is kind of almost interchangeable. All this could change depending on the spoilers we get for some of these. But I do feel like Lorwyn Eclipsed is one of those sets that will be looked at from what we've seen so far and from the anticipation of this location of the world and all of that stuff. This is going to be a Dragonstorm type of set where everyone's going to be really excited to pull this. It's going to be a really fun time in the Magic community. Everyone's going to be looking forward to theory crafting and then creating decks and all that stuff. And I do think that's when Magic is at its best. So I'm really looking forward to that set because of all that. And from what they've shown so far, the art looks really good. It is going to feel very much like a Magic in-universe set, more so than a lot of others we've seen. So I think that's really, really exciting as well. And ultimately, that's one of those sets that I think is going to be really cool. Then we've got Reality Fracture. And this is where I know I'm going to lose a lot of people because of my number one is a Universes Beyond set. But bear with me for a little bit. Reality Fracture, I think, could do some things in such an interesting way that it'll tell a story we've never seen in Magic before while delivering some cards that can provide a lot of really cool ideas. I like just the general theme of Reality Fracture and how that could be something that carries Magic forward for the foreseeable future. And that's what I'm really most looking forward to with that set. There's speculation, obviously, about it incorporating Universes Beyond into the main reality of Magic. I think that would be silly. I think what instead they could do is we already have like a multiverse type of idea in Magic and Planeswalkers and all of that. They could figure out a way to better connect some of the Planeswalkers and like make the hat sets, for example, make a little bit more sense. I don't know how they do that, or just expand the Magic universe in general. So I think there's a lot there to like. I'm really excited about that set, and I think they could do so many unique things with a Reality Fracture just from an idea standpoint that I think it could be really, really good. Again, we don't know how many cards each set's going to have. We don't know like generally what the chase cards are going to be, what the foils or what the high-end cards are going to look like, any of that yet. So this is all like early speculation, but it's just fun to kind of go over in my opinion. At number one is Marvel Superheroes. I know everyone's going to be down on this set after Spider-Man, and I fully understand why. This is one of those sets that could go either way, and for me, I do feel like it is one that will be very successful. They have this major partnership with Marvel right now, and after how underwhelming Spider-Man has been, they're probably going to put maximum effort into promoting this as much as possible. And we see that there are already Marvel cards that are very expensive, very sought after right now. You've got Wolverine, you've got Captain America. Those are two high-priced cards. Yes, they're from Secret Lairs, but they are still very much cards that people are chasing. So I do think there's potential there. Not only that, but with Marvel Superheroes, the idea, like this one is one of those where my main concern is that it is too legendary heavy, as we've seen. Obviously, Spider-Man, very legendary heavy. We saw Final Fantasy, very legendary heavy, legendary creatures. But I think for this set, if it's not surrounded by others that are legendary heavy, it could make a little bit more sense. The problem is The Hobbit coming after it, no, Star Trek in November as well. I think there is some concern there. But overall, I think there's so much more to a wider Marvel universe that they can incorporate and include that makes a lot more sense than just strictly Spider-Man or strictly Assassin's Creed or even The Hobbit. That's where I feel like it differentiates itself quite a bit. I know people are going to disagree. They think this set is doomed from the jump and it's never going to be successful. But I have hopes that they're going to turn it around with the set, and this is likely going to be the one that they want to replicate the success of Final Fantasy. I don't think it's going to do all of that. However, it is coinciding with next year a new Avengers movie coming out and a lot of other big MCU projects on the horizon. So that is why I really feel like we are in for a massive year with Marvel, and that's why I think they're going to put the best foot forward for this set. And so because of that, that's why I have such high hopes. Whereas the opposite is true of the Hobbit. Lord of the Rings was already so successful. I worry they might phone it in because there's so many sets next year that at least a couple of them are not going to be as good, right? We saw it this year. Final Fantasy good, Tarkir Dragonstorm good, Edge of Eternity is pretty good, but then you have the Spider-Man set and stuff like that just doesn't deliver at the same level. And so because of that, I think next year is going to be similar in that some of the sets are going to be very high highs and other sets are going to be fairly low lows. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like the video as always, comment, subscribe. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.